What is going on, everybody? Welcome to week 4 of Mr. Golden Guru selections. And it's crazy to think that I may be the first person in the entire world of galaxies to have gotten every single pick wrong. I mean, right, I haven't been wrong yet. It's crazy to think that I haven't gotten a single pick wrong. So let's start off this Thursday. We have Miami Dolphins going up against the Bengals. And the Dolphins were in a close one. End up winning in overtime for the first victory. And the same cannot be said for the Bengals. We're going to go with the Bengals. We're going to go with the Bengals to defeat the Miami to go on ahead and go to 2-2 as Miami goes on ahead and falters to 1-3. Next game, Colts versus the Jaguars. And this game starts super mega early. 9:30 a.m. So we are going to go ahead and go with the Colts. The Jaguars are 0-3. They are who we thought they were. They got some good weapons in Robinson and Bortles is. We're going with the Colts. We're going with Andrew Luck to bounce back. Going ahead, and even though they got, not bounce back as in back to that MVP caliber we know he's capable of. They were very close to being 0-3 this year. They end up winning late touchdown to T.Y. Hilton and almost was 0-3, but they end up winning. Now, I believe the Colts are going to win and go to 2-2. Next, we have the Titans and the Texans. The Texans got shellackled last Thursday by the Patriots, so they got some extra days rest going into this game, and they just looked flat out sloppy against the Patriots. Were unable to even get in at least field goal range. So I think they go on ahead and bounce back against the Titans. Go ahead and get their victory and move up to 3rd-1. That division is a disgusting division. I believe the Texans will make it to the playoffs winning the division just by default, just because that division is ugly. But nonetheless, ugly or not, they have some of the best defensive players in the league. You got J.J. Watt, you got Clowney, who's a monster. Will Fork, who you need 9 guys to go on ahead and block. Monstrous. I definitely see the Texans winning over the Titans. Next up, we have the Redskins at the Browns. And Browns had a very, 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 very close, almost should have won the game last week, but ended up losing and going to 0-3. The Redskins were another team that was close to being 0-3. Ended up beating the Giants by 2 points. And hopefully this is the game they get the running game together. Matt Jones really hasn't done much of anything on the ground. The Browns struggle on both sides of the ball. I see the Redskins winning. I see D-Jax having a big game. I see Reed having a pretty good game. And hopefully Matt Jones gets it together and has himself a good game as well. I see the Browns starting off 0-4. But the week after that, I see, with Gordon coming back, then I think, the Browns will start to be, a little better. Well, a lot better offensively because, it may take them a while to catch stride. But Josh Gordon is definitely a premier weapon to go along with 90-foot Terrell Pryor. Seahawks and the Jets. So right here is a very good game. The Jets. Let's. You talk about Fitzpatrick, right? You talk about Fitzpatrick, and you go on ahead and realize that Fitzpatrick threw last week. Last week he threw for 6 interceptions. 6. Ladies and gentlemen, no, that is not a no. 6 against the Chiefs. He threw 6 interceptions, and I believe they lost 2 fumbles, 8 turnovers all in all. You're not going to win many games in this league giving the other team 8 extra possessions. The Seahawks, one of the best defensive teams in the league, definitely are a team that I can see not forcing 8 turnovers, but making it difficult for the Jets to move the ball. Excuse me, I've been yawning a lot more than I should be. I have the Seahawks winning, going. I would love the Jets to win, though. Being in the NFC West, for whatever reason, I still have some goofy amount of hope that we can somehow make the playoffs as a 49ers fan. It's not going to happen. But you know what? Listen, let a kid dream. But I have the Seahawks winning that one. The Bills and the Patriots. Now, I believe Garoppolo is coming back for this game. The Bills looked a lot better last week against the Cardinals. And LaShawn McCoy had a good game, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. And I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Patriots, though. I don't know. Garoppolo's looking good. It don't matter who they have at quarterback at this point. It really doesn't matter. They have Tom Brady coming back in week 5. And no matter what happens, even if they lose this game, they're going to lead the division and get back arguably the greatest, not only the greatest quarterback of all time, but he's no longer in his prime. He's a lot older, but still you have contender for best quarterback in the NFL today. I got the Patriots beating the Bills. Panthers and the Falcons. I don't see I don't see the Panthers losing. A playoff hope will be very difficult to look at if the Falcons go on ahead and lose. I mean, if the Falcons win and the Panthers are looking to start 1-3. I think I've seen something on Twitter that says there has been, I think, 8 teams who lost the Super Bowl, and the returning year started off 1-2, and I think like 6 of the 8 end up making the playoffs or something like that. We know the Panthers are a good team. One thing they need to do is target Kelvin Benjamin. It's disgusting to have that man with no receptions, only 1 target the entire game. That has to change. Has to change. You can, even if it's double coverage, you can toss it up to Kelvin 15 times. He's going to come down with probably half of them. Just throwing it up to him. He's such a huge target. Has to change. There's no way you're going to be too successful by ignoring your best offensive weapon. It's just crazy to think he only had 1 target. I got the Panthers bouncing back in this game because they need to win. They do not want to start off 1-3. And we're going to go with the Panthers due to pure desperation. I think they're going to come out, play extremely hard as they do every week, but just a little bit more edge this week. Because, again, you don't want to start 1-3. So we got the Panthers over the Falcons. The Ravens and the Raiders. So the Ravens are one of the few teams that are undefeated. They are 3-0. 2-1 for the Raiders. We're going to go on ahead and go with the Raiders to beat the Ravens. I like what the Raiders got going on. I like what I see out of the Raiders. I think the Ravens are going to go ahead and take the first loss of the year, and the Raiders are going to go and even up the record with the Ravens 3-1. Next, we have the Lions versus the Bears. Just any team that's going against the Bears, I want that team. So Lions over the Bears. We have Broncos versus the Bucks, and I believe Simeon was named Offensive Player of the Week for the AFC. I think he had like 300 touchdowns. That would have been a record. 300 passing yards with 3 touchdowns. Simeon had a great game last week. The Buccaneers, Jameis Winston is having a fantastic year, but is not, equating in wins. Broncos have a very stifling defense. Their defense alone, in order for them to lose, I think is going to take a very high-powered offense, because that team does not make it easy to score, and they are locked down, and that defense is very, very, very good. And we are going to go with the Broncos over the Bucks. Next, we have an NFC West clash. We got the Rams versus the Cardinals. Rams have gotten it together, 2-game win streak, even though they got demolished by my Niners opening day on Monday night. But, since then have won the last 2 games. The Cardinals 1-2, lost a tough game against the Bills. Just could not stop the run. Shady McCoy was getting loose. Even Tyrod Taylor, I think, had 60, 70 rushing yards. But this game, we're gonna go with the Cardinals. I still think Cardinals are one of the best teams in the NFL. And again, same thing with the Panthers. You do not want to go 1-3. And if the Cardinals do go 1-3, then that's just a lot of. It'll be very difficult. They got to start looking at the wild card, damn near. for them to make the playoffs, because the Rams are going to go on ahead and be 3-1. And if I'm correct, and the Seahawks win, they as well will be 3-1. And the Cardinals will be on the outside looking in at 1-3, and that's just not the way you want to go on ahead and start the division. So hopefully they can get it together, even it up, and both teams will be 2-2. And yeah, so we got the Cardinals over the Rams. The Saints at the Chargers. Now the Saints just, I don't know, starting off 0-3. Not a very good start to the season. The Chargers are 1-2, and I believe every game that they've played in, they've had at some point a lead in the third or fourth quarter. They just letting it slip away. But I got the Saints in this one. We're going to go with the Saints. I believe they finally just don't give up 100 points a game. Drew Brees has a good game and ends up throwing 2 touchdowns to Snead. Don't at me on Twitter. We got the Saints winning, and they will be 1-3, and the Chargers will be 1-3 as well. Now, right here, we got the Cowboys against the 49ers. I believe Dez might miss some significant time. I haven't really looked into it. I was making myself a breakfast sandwich this morning, and I quickly turned on to Undisputed on FS1, and I believe I heard Dez may be missing some time, maybe a few weeks, maybe longer than that. I'm not sure what the situation is. But without Dez, it'll be very difficult for the Cowboys to, even though, like, let's say in week 1, he only had 1 reception for 8 yards, but you still can't ignore that presence on the field. Dez has to be accounted for. Dez is, somebody you have to game plan for. He's a playmaker. Even if Dak doesn't look his way, the fact is he's still on that field, and you have to respect what he's able to do. Nonetheless, they can have 9 Moseses, Jesus at quarterback, and 4 Dez Bryants. The 49ers are going to shellac them. And this is by no means me being biased because I'm a 49ers fan. The 49ers will go on ahead and win. Next up, we got the Steelers at the Chiefs. And my Lord, did the Steelers get embarrassed in week 3 versus the Eagles. They got absolutely Goomba stomped. The Eagles actually happen to be on a bye this week. The Chiefs are 2-1. The Steelers are 2-1. And this is the Sunday night game. I'm going to go on ahead and say that the Steelers are going to bounce back after that disgusting loss. Antonio Brown did have a great game. I think he had 140 yards, 12 receptions against the Eagles. But other than that, it was just downhill. It was difficult to watch. Wentz was out there breaking records with the amounts of passing attempts thrown, to have yet to throw an interception so far this year. The Eagles defense did a great job of just locking the Steelers up to only a field goal. Like, it was, again, difficult to watch. But I got the Steelers coming in Sunday night winning this game. The Monday night game, we have the 3-0 Vikings versus the 2-1 Giants. You can make a case that the Giants could have been 3-0. Again, they lost to the Redskins, but by 2. That was a very close game. I'm going to go ahead and choose the Giants over the Vikings Monday night. I just still think the Giants have one of the best front fours in all of football. And I just feel like they're going to go on ahead and create havoc and make it very difficult for the Vikings to have time in the pocket and to create a running game without Adrian Peterson. The Vikings defense has been phenomenal this year. Really, really good defense, but I feel like the Giants are going to have this one Monday night. So to recap, we have the Bengals over the Dolphins, Colts over the Jaguars, Texans over the Titans, Redskins over the Browns, Seahawks over the Jets, Patriots over the Bills, Panthers over the Falcons, Raiders over the Ravens. I take my grandmother over the Bears, so we got the Lions over the Bears, the Broncos over the Bucks, Cardinals over the Rams, Saints over the Chargers, 49ers over the Cowboys, Steelers over the Chiefs, and the Giants over the Vikings. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on those picks, and let me know who you guys got winning certain matchups. It's your boy GS Man. See you guys next video. Peace.